Okay, well, here we go. So, I'm going to talk about a few different subjects. I'm going to try to be, once again, careful, very, very careful in my language because I think it's very important to be careful. Don't count anybody out yet. Um, I think a lot of folks say, "Oh, the Russians are being beaten. They've thrown the towel now. This and that." We have to remember is that there have been two chances for. How's it going, Jake English? How's it going, Temujin? How are y'all doing? Two chances for Zelensky to cry uncle and go to the negotiating table. First one, Zelensky said no. The second one, as far as I know, like I said, I don't know when this is happening. That's kind of lost in the mix. Now, I believe both of these attempts were supposed to be set up in Belarus. Um, we've seen Kiev, of course, completely encircled, and drones are being sent out. A lot of the gayabs have come out. Like I said, Ghost of Kiev now has been found out to be a complete hoax. The Snake Island stuff, complete hoax, been blown apart. Yeah, Russians are holding back low. It's so obvious. Yeah, they could level every Ukrainian city in an hour if they wanted to, but they don't want to do that. Exactly. They don't want to. They just want to get rid of Zelensky. They want to have somebody who's more pro-Russian. It's that simple. That's who they want. And they want to get rid of Azov. Azov Battalion. Plenty of footage is out there. Like I say, I'm not going to go digging for it because I'm not a ghoul. I'm not a ghoul who's going to search for it. But yeah, the first negotiation had the kind of conditions they were pretty much surrendered. They didn't want to negotiate. Oh, okay. Okay. I wouldn't, yeah. But yeah, they're trying to keep things intact. A lot of folks have mentioned, of course, that 10,000, AK variants have been given out to ordinary people. Like I say, this is very Volksturm-esque. Very Volksturm-esque. A lot of Ukrainians are just killing each other in the streets. And the Russians are nowhere near positions. And of course, they're employing tactics, of course, that, Zionists would talk about that Hamas uses, where Ukrainians are setting up, missile sites, in, civilian places, this and that. So it's getting very dirty. Azov Battalion, like I said, are you sub to Russell Bentley? Text in Donbass, yeah. Yeah, yeah. I've talked a lot of shit about Russell Bentley, but more and more what I've seen of Azov, when I've heard about Azov, he's more correct. Once again, I'll take an L on that, admittedly. But yeah, like I said, I'm gonna try to be centrist here. I'm not gonna sit here and praise what Russia is doing, but they are trying to be very surgical in what they're doing, and I think that's the narrative. Like I say, it's a very difficult thing to see. There's plenty of footage that you can see on all ends, but you have to remember is that CGTN, RT have been banned in the EU and stuff like that. So once again, the information war, if you take out one side, you get to only show people the one side of things. And of course, you can say as well, with racism as well, to say, how dare they attack a European city like, Kiev or something like that. And these blonde haired, blue eyed people, it's like, oh my goodness. Are you kidding me? We see, of course, people like Vosh praising the Azov Battalion. How likely you think World War III is? It might not happen super soon, but I think it's likely in the next decade. I don't think it is. I think we're too pussy. I really don't think that's possible. It's the same thing with the nukes and everything else like that. Seems like all Ukraine is fake and gay. Yeah. Like I say, the Russians are not through. They're not out yet. It's the same thing when people are talking about SWIFT. A lot of folks are, of course, saying, look at what's, Russia and China have an alternative to SWIFT to do their transactions. India does as well. Right to bear arms. What the Ukrainian government is doing by handing out guns to random people just seems like a recipe for disaster. Absolutely, it is. It is. Like I say, once again, I think that people are trying. Like I say, the Russians are trying to minimize casualties. They want to keep Ukraine as it is, and dare I say it like this, because of course I know that people have criticized Coach Red Pill for many things, but Coach Red Pill is in Ukraine. He is in Kiev, and he's pretty much said the same thing I'm saying right now, and he's correct. the real narrative is this: is that Russia has been on the sidelines for the most part in this, war since 2014. And now they're just going to say, we're going to get rid of the government and we're going to install our own. And they want to keep the government intact. Like I say, I'm repeating what other people are saying, but, it's clearly for atrocity propaganda. If those people attack Russian forces, they will all die. Yep. And NATO won't be happy. Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is, like I say, this is just baiting at this point. It's baiting. Like I say, I'm not going to sit here and praise Russia. I think a lot of folks are just going to be like, Russia's going to take down the whole Western system. I don't believe that. And I think that, once again, it's a chance for the crypto bros to come out and just be like, yeah, Russia's going to allow more crypto and stuff like that. He's not going to allow you in. I'll tell you that right now, crypto bros. But yeah, Oznov are insignificant, basically useful idiots like Adam Waffen for their enemies. Yeah, exactly. Neutral 2, it's odd that Coach Red Pill deleted all his videos. I was thinking he started pumping out all the pro-Russian content and deleting his old vids for self-preservation purposes. Yeah, probably so. Like I say, minimizing casualties, something that's to be seen. I think that, the obviously the NATO perspective is just like, we're just going to keep bombing. And, we're going to cause havoc, this and that, and we want to get rid of Russia. Russians are trying to win the war on the ground, though, and try to keep people on their side. Yeah, we've seen, of course, Azov and Mariupol. Well, I'll just say Mariupol. Sorry, I'm trying to sound like I'm Ukrainian, but yeah, we've seen Mariupol. People are not being allowed to leave; they're just shooting people. Yeah, it's a messy thing. And I think people have to be very careful about, what they promote. Like I say, I'm as much as I've talked about the, collapsitarianism, this and that sort of thing. The United States is not going to change its views. I think that the U.S. is going to be isolated because of our government's own actions. Is that the dollar will cease to be the reserve forever. I'll put it that way. And crypto may take more of a hold. But I think that crypto is still very volatile. And it's something that doesn't have the stability. And I think once, the ruble and once the, Once the the renminbi, the RMB is much more stable, then more people are going to get involved. Yeah, unipolar days of America are long gone. Oh, absolutely. Exactly. This is, like I say, I've said this before, I'll say it again. It's simply returning to tradition where there are spheres of influence. And the United States, I'm going to give a hot take. This is really the hot take. I've thought about this for a little bit. I'm going to give my take. Skewer me, say it's wrong, say it's irrelevant, but I'm going to say it nonetheless. I think that the United States is going to be like a Spain. What do I mean by that? Well, Spain, after the Spanish Civil War, and of course being involved with the Spanish Blue Division being sent to the Soviet Union, is that Spain became a country that was just kind of a backwater. I would say arguably is that Spain has kind of been a backwater for a long time, even before the Spanish Revolution. And the U.S. is going to be more of a backwater. That's my view. I think the United States will obviously have influence, but I think it will become more and more of a backwater. Yeah, you could talk about Elon Musk, or you could talk about whomever else is making whatever gizmos or gadgets. But that's my opinion on it, is that the U.S. will be more of a backwater that nobody really thinks about. Not in the same way. Yeah, it's a huge country, yada, yada, yada. But I think that Russia and China will have more influence, especially China. Russia, I think, has a little bit more ways to go, in my opinion. I think China is obviously there ready to provide more. It gives a better image. I'll put it that way. It gives better PR. Russia, I think, is kind of held up in this more like, become orthodox, become ordo and all that sort of thing. So that's my view. Like I say, maybe I'm more of a China boo in that way. But I don't know. That's my take on it. I think the U.S. will just be forced to become more of a backwater, become much more of a coup the government silently. He's pushed Ukrainians closer to the West and made American liberals find out where Ukraine is. Yeah, exactly. But it's also made a lot of people see that, for all the talk of fighting white supremacy and all that, is that they'll still push the narrative that, wonder what Belarus move will be in this situation. Well, Belarus they're trying to make it seem like neutral ground. That's where a lot of the, neutral, these talks are happening. But yeah, I really don't want to hash it out longer. I just, the only original take, I'll say within this 13.5 minute span that I've been talking, the only original thing that I want to say is that, yeah, the United States, it will be more like a Spain. It's like people will do business with Spain, but it's not going to have the same influence it once did. And I think that once these, folks may realize is that China may be a better partner, they're going to work with them and not work with the United States. They may work with individual companies, but for the government, it's a whole other thing. At least in my opinion. In my opinion, it's like that. I don't know, but what we see, the United States, in my opinion, has has fallen, or is falling in the process of, But that's my take on it. That's my take. And of course, you can talk about Joe Biden and his son, Hunter Biden, being involved and whatnot. And of course, we've seen the attacks on like the PSYOP war place and the chemical weapons in Ukraine, this and that. Like I say, I don't want to seem pro-Russian. I'm going to say is that, yeah, it could have been done more silently and probably could have gotten, a different way. But that's my view of it, yeah. But why did Putin threaten Finland and Sweden? Sweden, I'm not sure. But Finland, obviously you could say, they still have control of large amount of Finland. But yeah, ultimately a new geopolitical era is needed. Distance have an easier time getting into power since the American system will be weaker. Yeah, thoughts on culture thought becoming the Mussolini of the Americas and creating Nuevo Roma. Oh, Lord. Oh, man. That would be interesting to see. It would be interesting to see, I'll put it that way. But, oh, man. Oh, boy. It would be interesting to see. I'll put it that way. It would be interesting to see, but I'll keep it at that. Interesting. Yeah. That's my only real take on that. But yeah, I don't think the United States is going to fall anytime soon, but I think that the U.S. is just on that decline, just kind of slowly going down. Yeah, the ideas will see there, but yeah. Yeah, interesting, I know, yeah. But that's how I view it. CT's Mussolini reborn, yeah. I really think that's all I have to say. As I get older and as y'all get older, I imagine is that I don't have time to LARP about some sort of imagined thing. I'm in this shit like y'all. I mean, when I go out to Walmart and I just see the of American life and just what Americans have been turned into. And you see it all and you just and like I say, we're all victim to it. Nobody's immune from that. We're all victim to it. Let's not get it twisted. When you see the United States, when you go to a place like Walmart and you see just how full it is on a Sunday, and you're just like, oh my goodness, the constant play. It's like, what? Let me ask you this. I'm going to be a boomer and ask this question. Why is it that Americans, what American likes to have like 20 flat screen TVs, no sound, playing like ESPN 24/7? Who likes that? Who likes that? I can't think of a place that would like that. And it's just extra money that you have to put in. I don't get it. I say just leave the TVs off and just just do it that way. Save the money. Are there that many people who really want to see what's going on with like women's basketball? No. Yeah, the scary thing is that collapse is that they take time or they don't. Yeah, exactly. Like saying, a lot of folks have said that as well, is that once the U.S. isn't, yeah, but feetsball, exactly, yeah, consume TV. Yeah, exactly. I don't, yeah. It's just frustrating. And you realize that. I stopped watching football years ago, lol. Exactly. Yeah, there's no point in that. I think it's fair to say, once again, as I've tried to advocate, and I think I've tried to be somewhat, consistent on this point, is stay neutral. Realize that, there's a lot of strings attached to joining any political group, in my opinion. There's always strings attached. It's interesting to see. Yep, no problem. Have a good one, 21st Century Longest. Have a good one. I'll wrap this up fairly soon, but, be careful. Don't be too quick to join a side. Stay neutral, but not gender neutral. Absolutely. Yep, exactly. That's true. Yeah. I think that's all I really have to say. When you see people like Richard Spencer, of course, who was considered like Madukinist and all that sort of thing, and now, of course, is coming out in favor of Ukraine and all this sort of thing, you have to say to yourself, You know, were these people ever your friends? Were they ever going to lead anything? Or were they always just going to be puppets? And you realize, man, is that people are going to make their choices. And yeah, of course, they're talking in the background. Anyway, we'll just end it here. I'm just rambling. Anyway, hopefully y'all enjoyed that. See you later. Goodbye.